all of you. And welcome to Home Affairs here on Joy 99.7 FM. I hope you look forward to Saturday mornings just the way I do. But grateful to God for yet another day. This morning, a very short word of encouragement for you. I just need you to trust that God is able. There's a reason I'm saying that. Sometimes, yeah, it's good to say the things you know and the things you have really experienced. From where you sit, looks like a done deal. Nothing will change. It's what it is. Whatever the situation is. You know that this is just it. But I'm telling you that if only you will have a muscle of faith and trust God, you will have a testimony and it will shock you. Like, don't lose it. Trust Him. Trust Him. Do what you have to do as a human being. Whilst you do that, have it at the back of your mind that there is a supreme being, one that sees and acts beyond your imagination, and He is able. If you're just tuning in, this is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Adam Knight Tay. Ably supported by Daniela Edu Asari, Miss Swagger. A year older last week. And then this boy who shies away from a lot of conversations, but does all those things. Selwyn Ofori, raise your hand. Thank you very much. Not easy waking up Saturday morning to come do this, but thank you for coming. This morning we have a very important conversation for you, like we have always had. So September is here. Money no get rest. We have to go back to school. The long vacation is over. Some have gone back to school already. Some are resuming on Monday and probably the week after. But by the end of September, like it or not, they will have to go back to school. And going back to school for children impacts the family a lot. And once we're talking home affairs, this is a subject we cannot ignore. And today we are looking at, it's all about parents, preschools, and preschoolers. So yeah, 1 minute he's learning to walk. The next you're buying him that way too big school uniform in the smallest, tiny size possible. Then you panic when you realize he can't even write his name, let alone tie his shoelace. But before you become anxious about your preschooler's ability to read, write, or count to 20 by the time he walks into class, this morning we will try to get things into perspective. ready for that conversation? I actually have the right people to have this conversation with. We're back in just a little bit.
When it tastes though, cooking for my family can be challenging, but with the new Genomax 12-gram seasoning tablets with 3 varieties, it's simple. Genomax with shrimp plus pepper gives my husband the hot and spicy flavor he loves with light soup. My Ghana jollof that my daughter Ya loves isn't complete without Genomax shrimp. My last baby Kojo, he likes everything. Genomax shrimp plus spices is perfect for soups and stews. My family calls me Mama Taste because I know how to take care of them. With 3 different varieties of Genomax seasoning tablets, I can offer my family their special meals, and so can you. Remember, Obia when it tastes. This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
To handle fire caused by LPG, take the following steps. If possible, turn off the regulator on the cylinder to stop the gas from causing more fire. Immediately, call the fire service. Do not try putting out LPG fire with water. Instead, use fire extinguisher. Children should immediately call for help when they smell gas or notice a fire. Remember, never place a cylinder to a source of heat or use a stone to stop a leaking cylinder. A message from the National Petroleum Authority.
So this morning we're talking about parents, preschools, and preschoolers. You're tuned into Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM, and my name is Edem Knight Tay. So like we said, September is here with us again. Children who are already in school will continue to the next class. You should see those ones in my house who are going to Form 1. We're no longer in primary school. Form 1, new uniform styles and everything. Yesterday, new hairstyles. The pressure even on the children is more than the pressure on the parents. But for those who are yet to start, parents are saddled with making these decisions of enrolling their children. So today we will have that conversation, and I need all of you to come around the table. Even if you are an expectant mother, come September next year, your child will go to school. You have, a cousin's child, you're an auntie to somebody. So this conversation concerns everybody. And it's not just about mothers. Much as I have only women in the studio today, it's not just about mothers. I know some fathers are hands-on fathers. They're actually the people who wake up, bathe their children, drive them to school and all that. So we all need to be here to share ideas. My guest in the studio this morning, be nice to them, be kind to them. This is their first time on Home Affairs. This is their first time on Home Affairs. So, Victoria Chum Jamra, she's mother of 2. Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
How are ya?
I'm good.
Great. And then I have Margaret. I'm a mother of 3.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, because you don't look it.
I know, right?
Yeah. We should be getting tips like that. And then we have Charlotte Tichimenson. She is proprietress, right? Yes. Early Days Preschool.
Yes, please.
You are in Tessano.
Yes, please.
Should I wear... Where is Daniela? Can I wear that hat today? Okay, so I run a preschool too.
Oh.
Yes, Evergreen School.
Oh, okay.
We are around Ashale Buchi opposite City Lights around School Junction. So as we go on, yes, we'll share all these ideas.
Sure.
It's a space we are all in,
Yeah.
so we'll share the ideas.
Sure.
But let me start from the mothers. I'll start with you, Victoria. No, you have an 8-month-old.
7 months.
7 months.
And then I have a 2-year-old.
Okay, great. Okay,
Yes.
so they are all toddlers in that
Yes.
phase.
Yes.
There's the 2-year-old in school.
Yeah, she's in school. Yes.
And what age did she start school?
She started, I was able to keep her home for a year.
Okay.
She started as a year. But with the second one, unfortunately, I'm pushing. Every month I'm pushing, and how you pull the support from this person. My mom comes around, and then this person, I'll take her to this person to go to, so I can go to work and things like that. But then now it's like, I've exhausted all my avenues of
Options.
help.
Yeah.
She has to go to school. She has to go to school.
How at 7 months?
At 7 months.
She has to go
She
to
has
school.
to go to school. That is not my greatest joy.
That just got your voice.
No, it's
you know.
because it's because and I was just talking to Charlotte when we were outside, and you just told me I'm Facebook Live, Joy of YouTube Live. I'm sure they are watching this.
Yes,
teachers
we're live.
are watching me. They're
We're
going
actually
to damn
live
our
on
school. Yeah,
Facebook, on
okay.
YouTube.
I'm not necessarily to damn the school that my daughter is in, the 2-year-old is in, but it's a learning process. As I see her in school every day, I see how she relates, the teachers. You generally have fears because you never think anyone can take as much care of your child as you can.
Oh, sure.
So you see these things, and it makes you think of, okay, maybe this is not where the second one should go. Okay, and then you think of the fact that what if you think the grass is greener on the other side, and then you realize that the water bill is really high on the other side as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking, what if it might not be any different? And because everything comes to
so
play.
tell me, you took your daughter there at 1,
Yes,
and you have a 7-month-old
yes,
who has to go to school as well,
she has to go to school.
and you're having difficulties in making that decision.
Yes.
Someone would think that it should be easy because you have one child there already. And I mean, you know their track record, you know their experience. So what are you looking out for? What's making it so difficult?
What's making it's a host of things. The first is care, and you at 7 months, because of the 1-year-old, I felt she was a bit capable at 1-year-old. Her food was a bit more solid. It was less things that they had to prepare for. I would prepare, and then she'd take it to school. But this time I know that in this case they might have to still make formula for her. I'm thinking, would they get the proportions right? Would they have access to the kind of, I could supply water when the water runs out? Would they do what I want them to do? And it's not because it's just, I think it's just human nature just to think that maybe they might not do it as well as I would, and then what that affects my child. This child is different from the first. The first one was she is very adaptive. This one is more of, she cries at little things. She throws up easily, and I'm worried that in that environment, if I'm not there and I can't say, okay, fine, this didn't work, let's try this next meal, or let me give her this by spoon, and maybe let me make something different. That option might not be there. And then I'm also worried about
Because she's not the only one there.
she's not the only one they're taking care of. And really, you can tip as much as you want, you can tip teachers as much as you want, but it's still not their child, And then there's also the problem of the school my daughter is in, they're great on education, but maybe not but. Okay, they are great on education. However, I feel like there's a few little things that maybe attention to detail, which I would want, which I don't see all the time. And I'm worried because now this one is younger than the first. So maybe what did not affect the first one because she was older would really affect this one, and that worries me. Like, there was this one time I went to the school and one of the teachers had some form of a rash. I'm sure to her it's not infectious. It's probably, I just thought to myself, I comforted myself that the only reason why she would come to school with that rash is because she knows it's not infectious, and that the proprietors will also know it's not infectious. But the very fact that I saw it, and I'm just maybe I have my own hypochondria, which I'm also passing on to my kids. I'm like, I felt like, don't, just don't, because you never know. You never know what contains pus, what's my, and I just feel like that's these little things. Maybe I'm just a fussy parent. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fussy. But if it worried me. I went to school one time. One of the teachers went into the washroom, and then she had the baby crying, and she just,
Rushed
because she was concerned. I told myself, oh, she's concerned. That's why she's just rushing and going to attend to the child
without washing her hands.
without washing her hands. But then to me, I feel like, pause for 3 seconds, wash your hands will save her life. As to you running there at this
And
point, I just,
getting the
this, that's just me. I'm just overthinking things. But
No,
then
you're not overthinking.
I'm not overthinking. Thank
You're,
you.
you're being
It's
very
natural.
realistic
Thank you. When I share my fears or my worries
about
with
taking your child to a preschool.
it's most of my friends say, just we took them at 3 months, Victoria, just chill.
Yes.
They'll survive,
Yeah.
I took Nana Kofi to school at 3 months. I took, at 3 months, like, I know, but maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe what you could overlook, I can't. I just,
Okay, but if you have all these concerns, I'm still wondering why your child is still there. Is it because you said they're good academically?
they're good academically and they're
So
right
something
behind my
has to
house.
give.
They're right behind my house. I mean,
Before I come to you, Charlotte, you and I in the same space, and this is all the internet has.
I'm sorry, it's true. That's not you too. Oh, next of schools.
Owners of school.
Margaret, how old is your youngest now?
My youngest is almost 8 months.
Yeah, we
Oh wow,
gave
you
birth at the
also
same
have a
time.
baby.
Yes.
Are you taking her to school?
Not now.
Okay.
Yes.
When are you looking at?
I'm looking at hopefully next academic year.
Okay,
That's
so
next year.
I mean, she would be
He
almost
will
2.
be almost 2. Yeah.
Okay, but how so? Is it because you have help?
Because I have help now.
Okay.
So, which I think it will be more better looking at the previous experience with the others. I
They
think,
went to school early.
They went to school quite early, and so getting the help, I can see that, okay, let me hold on and see how this one is going to pan out, because the others, when they started, I mean, it's like I have to juggle between work, school, and having to pack their things every day morning. You need to get to the school before you also go to work. And I had a leave out, somebody who will come in, and she always is not coming in early. I was getting late to work. So I thought that if I have somebody in, then I should be able to let this child enjoy being in the home environment. Yes, all alone.
What were the previous experiences like?
Okay, so sometimes you go pick your child from school and the diaper is so wet. I mean, meanwhile you sent diapers, okay, and just when they see you coming, then they want to change. They want to be so nice. And sometimes you bring the child home, you touch the child, you realize that something has happened to the child, but nobody will tell you. Nobody will tell you that this is what happened. If my child fell, you should be able to tell me. This is
So
what
I know
happened
what
to
to
your
expect.
child. I mean, there was this day I saw my son with bleeding on. I mean, there's a conjunctiva, the white sac of the eye, and apparently he's had a trauma to the eye, and they didn't tell me. How was I going to know? I had to inspect my child. I just looked at him and I realized that was so. They didn't tell me, and so when I confronted them, they said, "Oh, one child they were playing it." I said, "Really?"
And you
And he
didn't
didn't tell me. He didn't think it's wise that the parent needs to know.
Wow.
So if you are a parent who don't really care about, okay, I've brought my child and so I've picked them from school, so it's okay, then they will be there and they are fallen sick and then the rashes. If a child has measles or any other infectious skin disease, they don't know. So they cluster all of them together and your child is constantly getting infection. Constantly you need to be giving antibiotics, which are not right. But this child is in the house enjoying the comfort of his home. And I think I love that experience more than when my child started school.
So again, before I come to you, Charlotte, because we too, when we take over, we'll talk about. Before I come to you, Charlotte. So when you see these things, okay, let's go back. Let's rewind. What were you looking out for before selecting the particular schools you took your children?
Okay. So before you take a child to school, you need to do your feasibility studies. You need to ask other parents
Yeah.
their experiences. And okay, so initially it was, when a school has carved a name for itself, people think that's okay
Because of the name.
because of the name, everything is fine, everything is perfect. But you go in and you start having your experiences, then you realize that okay, after all that I heard is not as I don't know, but every teacher wants their palms to be greased.
Exactly.
It's so
Right.
amazing. When you grease their palms, the reception, the warmth they give to your child is so different because you observe their behavior towards other children as well. And you realize that no, it's so different. As a parent, I will not be happy you treating another parent's child that way just because I have greased your palms. No, I'm only motivating it. It's just a motivation because they tell
not
us
bribe.
it's not bribery.
To
It's
take
not
extra care
no.
of my child.
You see, so and you realize that they are
Because
not
you're
really
not sure what some other parents may be doing.
exactly.
You may be giving 50 CDs. That parent
Somebody
could
may be giving 200
CDs.
cedis.
So
Okay.
please get more care.
And sometimes they abuse the kids. They abuse the kids. You see, kids, they don't tell lies.
Yeah.
They don't tell lies. That is one thing. They say the thing as it is. So your child comes home, how was school today? You try to engage your child. Oh, Auntie Anita beats me. For my son, he is that he would just say it in your face. I don't like this teacher. Why don't you like this teacher? Because he beat me. Because he did this he took my food. Mommy, the biscuit you gave me, she didn't give it to me. So, and it's amazing. They do it.
But you looked out for all these
You
things.
looked out for all these.
And you were quite satisfied.
you were
Yeah.
quite satisfied
And then you take your child
and you experienced
and
that.
you realize that it really isn't as
Isn't
you
what
heard
it
or
was.
thought.
Yeah.
I see. And so when you experience these things, what do you do?
So when you experience, I would make a formal complaint to that because most of the time the proprietors are not even aware of what is going on because they just sit in the offices. They don't even come to check. Almost, I think now it's money making business. So everybody gets up. Okay, I want to establish a school because the fees they are paying is like what university students are paying for a year.
I know, right?
And so you ask yourself, what is the problem? So you make a formal complaint to them, and they'll tell you that they will investigate. They will talk to them,
And they don't get
and
back.
they don't get back to you. And so for me, some of us, they see us as this parent as quote unquote a nuisance.
Yeah. you're
Because
fussy.
constantly she's so fussy. Why are you the only parent? Are you the only one? Because when I see, I will talk. They know me. As cute and quiet as I am, I will talk. And they go like, Audrey's mother is something
Talking
else.
about cuteness and quietness. I thought my earrings were nice, but it looks like yours are.
Thank you.
Daniela, what is your problem?
Well, my shoes too are nice.
I'll probably have a look at them.
You see the ones in my car.
Hey, Sunday, bye. Oh, wow. I see. This is good feedback. Charlotte, again, hold it. Let me
I'm
come back to
holding
the
on.
mothers because these are the
I'm-
people who make the businesses thrive, you
Exactly,
see.
yes.
Back
That's
to you,
true.
Victoria. So, I mean, what did you also look out for before taking your first child there? Because I'm sure you had other options.
Yes.
There were lots of preschools.
Yes. I looked out for class size mainly.
Okay.
And then also, like
So
she
what?
said,
Even with the class size, you still have these challenges.
Yes.
Hey, why?
yes. You know, the thing is, I work on the University of Ghana campus, so it makes all sense that I should take my child to Baby's Nest, which is on campus. I went there to find out, and they said, "Oh, we're not a Montessori, so it's about 30 children in a class." And I said,
How old was the child?
then when she was a 1 year old and she was going to school, when initial one. So I said, oh, 30, yes. And, I guess being a staff of Eugene, plenty benefits. So they reduce, fees and everything. And they have a lovely environment. I'm not disputing that. But then I just thought, wow, 30. That's 30 flus, 30 boils, 30 colds and coughs. No, let me reduce it, because if I have my child amongst that, you can have anything. There are 30 children, with 2 caregivers.
31-year-olds.
31-year-olds. That's a lot of
That's a
deal
lot of
with.
work.
A lot of
actually.
work,
Yeah.
So I thought of class size mainly, and the school that I've taken her to, the class size is relatively good. At their most, they are 17 or 18, which is good for me. And their caregivers are 3.
That is still a lot.
That is still a
for
lot.
preschool.
And there are
Yes.
three
Yes.
three
That is still
caregivers.
a
Yes,
lot.
that's still a lot.
Plenty, Agatha.
You can do
So-
8.
With how
And
many
then-
caregivers?
Okay, so no, I mean in playgroup now, where she is now, is 18. At that point when she was going in, but what they told me was that they have about, if I quite remember, and forgive me as you are watching if I'm lying about your school. It's
Did
what's
you
that?
just mention the name of the
No, I was
school?
like, no, forgive me if I, here's the pressure is worrying. She's like, hey, this lady, no, I'm just saying. So please, I know you could be watching. So I think they did say it was less than 10. That encouraged me to put. I know the figure was less than 10, but then in playgroup now they're about 18. So that I looked for class size. I looked for track record. I asked a few parents. I also asked, is this main shop just across the school where the children normally buy things from before they go
Snacks.
into the school? So I asked the lady that runs the shop, because parents come there. So I figured, they would interact, they would say things. And I asked her, and she's really good with me. So she told me that, she only hears good things in terms of education. The kids are very sound, they speak well, they have their culture, they have manners, and that's also the only thing the parents complain about is that there's no PTA. And I'm like, can I live without PTA? Maybe I can. So I realized I could live without PTA. But then, funny enough, I think that comment had gotten to the proprietor. So by the time my daughter came to school, PTA happened there that same year. So I was like, oh, anyways. But then there was PTA without the proprietress, which I thought was not PTA. But later on, over the years, they are now showing up at their PTA. So I looked out for that. And then proximity is also a major factor for me, in terms of the fact that because I wanted her to be somewhere close to home, where if I'm not there and I could get someone to, because if my mom is in the house or something, she could just easily pick her up and bring her. Not something where I'm locked up in town, then I have to think of traveling across town and she's in school late and things like that. I thought of proximity as well. And then I also looked out for cleanliness of the environment. It was a major factor for me. And they managed to keep the inside of their school very clean. I was just on a regular day walking by. There are cases, and they also, there's this lady that I think she convinced me, this lady in the school that takes care of the washroom consistently. That's her job. She just sits at the right now the preschool washroom. So before I saw her, right at the entrance, she sits there. She has all these detergents, and she's constantly mopping the place, constantly cleaning the seats. She's constantly doing that. That was it for me. It was a
turn on for you.
turn on for me. It's like I was like, I love this woman. She's just all the time. I mean, she does it so, and she helps the kids to use the washroom. So when she helps you, she'll bring the child to wash her. And I, even without any parents watching her, she does her job, and that's what she does in the school. That's really tender for me. I was like, these people care about at least washroom habits is good. So my daughter right now, she'll tell you, Mommy, wash your hand under running water. And she's washing her hands, which is good. Then there are other things that I don't like. But yeah. So those are things I looked out for. And they checked those lists, and my daughter went there. Yeah.
And for the times that you were not very happy, what did you do?
I spoke to the teacher first and foremost. I really I really respect hierarchy, and I don't like when people go, like when like a teacher does something, instead of talking to the teacher, you go and talk to the proprietor. So I feel like I don't. It's like when I talk to you once and you don't listen,
Then you
then
can
I can
escalate.
go to the next step and then go like, okay, I spoke to her, and nothing was done about it. So I work in that. If I go to the school and I see that like when Maggie was talking, I remembered that my daughter can come home with just last week. She fell at home and she split her lip and that healed. Then just this week she came home with that's the wound open, and I asked her what happened, and she said she's always there are these three people that she always mentioning their names. Says one of them they're playing and she pushed her, and I was so livid that why couldn't you just why didn't you tell me? No, and it's not only is the reason why I didn't when I picked up my daughter, she was like this. Okay, I tucked the lip in, so we walked to the car and everything, and then we got home, and then I realized when I was opening the gate, I realized am I so happened to your lip? Then she said this person pushed her, and that's one of the teachers put medicine on it for her. So I was mad. They have a school nurse, which she's licensed, she's good, she takes good care of them, but I feel like you should just tell me.
Yeah.
Don't assume that because there was a wound then it's open now. Is this not the way I brought my child to school? So I addressed the first person who's in contact with her caregiver, a primary caregiver. Then you know that I saw this time. I wasn't happy about it. And then she would say, then their school cry. I think they shake the moment you ask something. No, then Sadeba, then they'll be like, Anna, please let me call Auntie this for you, who is the next, the head of that department. Then they'll call her for you. You speak to her, and she, when it's above her pay grade, she'll tell you that, oh, madam, please. Or normally when I complain about things educational wise, she tells me that, oh, auntie, mommy, please talk to madam about it. This, if you talk to madam about it, she can do something about it. When it's like academic wise, I feel like, oh, they should do this, they should do that. I realize that she's learning in this way. I like her to learn in this way. But then when it comes to like, my daughter is hurt, she scraped her knee. So this time, some insects were biting her. I was so upset because, like in the house when I bring her out, like, we do some repellents or just stay out of, she's not out about a certain time. I don't know what insects were in the school. My daughter gets home and there are insects bites and she's I don't know what it is and she's itching. I'm like, what? Why can't you? No, why?
Oh.
And I was so, those days there, I was so mad. I started putting repellent in her bag. That please apply it on her legs. If you are taking her outside and she reacts, things bite her easily, just put some on my child's leg.
They won't do it.
So I think it's just too much trouble sometimes. To them, they feel like,
and you can't keep them at home too.
No. And I realized that, like Maggie was saying, sometimes when you over complain, not over complain, when you make a lot of you notice a lot of things and you talk about it, it's almost like you want to keep I think they think that you want to shelter your child too much. It's like, let the child grow. Back in the days we used to play in sand. I never played in sand.
Exactly.
I never played. My mom never let us play in sand, and I don't think I missed anything in life. Let the child grow. Like it's almost as if she's too, she's too cautious.
Overly
Too
protective.
overly protective. The child will not feel free and grow and be
See how I'm looking
holistically,
at it.
like it's as if you're letting the child miss out on something.
But all you are asking for
All I'm asking
really
is
is care.
Just care.
It's care.
No, just attention to detail. Then again to.
Charlotte,
Charlotte.
you've been listening, right?
Yeah, I understand what she's saying. I understand.
So how do we go about these days?
I understand all that she's saying, and I also have the same complaint, And yes, I do. I do have all those complaints, So like you are saying, I believe in the parents and us interacting, If you have a problem, if you have a problem, you talk to us, then we see how best we can resolve all those problems, because we are there for you and you're also there for us, and we are there to take excellent care of the kids. Sometimes, yes, some of the teachers may complain that, oh, this parent is this parent is that, but then we all have to come together, accept whatever complaints that you bring in, then we just resolve it, you know. Understand, it's not easy leaving your little ones out there, but we are also there for you. We are there for you.
Oh, you are laughing. But maybe we should ask you these questions. Is that what the parents tell you?
You see her reaction. That's the kind of response that I, as a parent, won't take.
Okay. I'm happy you won't take that.
Oh, no. That is the kind of response that I, as a parent, won't take. So, I mean, I was looking at you because, yes, I am a very fussy parent too. When my children were in preschool, I had to keep moving them. Because I look out for a lot of things. Like, no, it can't happen. And when it comes to my child, and that's the problem I have with some parents. When it comes to my child, I am not willing to negotiate like that. Because before we come in, before I bring my child in, I am asking you, are you able to do this? Are you able to do this? Are you able to do this? Ensuring that I am not asking for too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I ask questions. If you are able to handle A, B, C, D, okay, based on these, I am bringing my child. And so when I bring the child and we don't, I mean, like, it's more like we have a contract, we have an agreement, and then you're beginning to breach it. I can't take it. And that's what forced me to start every school.
Okay.
So I started with my kids at home. At home.
Oh, okay.
So you looked at the lapses in the system.
Yes, I started at home in my house.
Okay.
You know, with my kids. So I would do them. The first one was already old and she went to class 1. Then I had a set of twins, and then the one that comes after the twins. This is like, you know what, enough. Besides, I wasn't really doing anything. Come home. I told my husband, started a school with his children at home. And that's how it started. Because, seriously, oh, no. And my policy, you are saying that you have to grease teachers' palms. When my children were in preschool, even till now, I never do. I have never done it. I will only send a gift to the school when they are even leaving your class. And my husband asked, but why do you do that? I said, I don't want you to favor my child. Do what you have to do. Do your job.
Exactly.
So they get to, they're going to a new class, for instance. They will be in the class. When they're leaving, then I send you a gift to say, thank you for taking care of them. I won't give you a gift so that you come and give them extra attention. You have been paid to do your job. So do it.
But that is not what is on the ground.
Oh, you see, sometimes
That's
it
why she
depends on
started her
us.
own preschool.
Yeah.
Yes, it depends on us, the parents.
Yes.
Some parents feel like, so in the school sometimes some parents come and they feel like if you talk, then they take it out on
your child.
Ebe.
And it happens. It does happen.
I believe
It's not always.
I believe it does and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are
Yes.
cases where it does happen, then you just know that the school's a terrible school. And when it doesn't happen too, I think, wait. So once again, proprietors, that's why you're watching me. Let me talk. The school that my daughter is in, I only give gifts in Christmas.
Yeah.
Then I give hampers to the teachers that are taking care
Finish.
of them. Finished. And I'm generally, I don't know how to give take this. I don't know how to go about that thing, so I just don't do it. Like, I don't know the protocol of, do I fold the money? Do I let you see that I'm giving you money? Do I hide the money? You know, I don't know how to do that thing. I just don't do it. But what I've realized is that when we go for PTA meetings, there are certain people that I believe, then again, so I stand be corrected, maybe they don't, but I believe they do. And there was one leader actually told me that, you know, I give them a lot of things. So the voice she has to speak and to condemn the things the teachers do is very loud, and it's ignored. It's ignored when it goes to the point where it's actually insulting or something. I realized that. And I was like, oh, okay. It could be that because she's very generous with gifts. So I believe that there are cases where, and I don't see them do any form of, I haven't seen it, that they'll say, oh, this child is of this woman's breed, for lack of a better word, so we give her more care, or this one is not. I have not seen
Right.
that, and I've not seen anybody being intentionally harsh to my child because I don't give out those things. Then again, it could be that they really enjoy the December presents, so it is flowing through the year. It could be different things.
But I personally don't believe in that. I don't. I'd like to have the contact of teachers,
Yeah.
and once in a while call to check on my children,
Sure.
even when they were in preschool. And that's what I encourage the parents who bring their children to us to do.
Yes.
Check on them, ask questions. And okay, so me, it's a personal thing. I am very passionate about children. I think I'm very, very passionate about children. I can't stand anybody treating a child bad.
Badly.
I can't. Like, you'll kill me. I
No.
can't. So, on a few occasions that I have been around, because I work with Joy FM full time. So, yeah, but I have an able hand that
Okay.
manages the place. Yeah, very, very tough human being. Tougher than myself.
Okay.
myself. She won't even accept gifts from the parents herself. You know, no.
Yeah.
She's a very tough person, and she tells me she doesn't even want to keep the contact of parents on her phone.
The phone.
So you're not
Yeah.
even tempted to
even favor.
go. Yes.
Yeah, give her
And
favors.
she's a very, 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 very tough person. Auntie Helen, if you're listening, kudos to you. And so the few times that I have been around, that I have asked somebody, you know what, pick your bag and go home and don't come back. Is you go to the washroom, and I mean, and if you have your own children at home, that's the way you observe them.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you are around them, they're nice, they're talking and everything. But sometimes when you really, really, really want to know, leave them. And they feel like, oh, you are in the kitchen doing something. And then you go by the window, and then
you
you are
watch
just
them.
observing
And
them.
listen to the things they are
They're
saying to
saying.
themselves.
You will be amazed.
That's I told you this morning what I heard my
Yes.
daughter saying.
Yeah.
I was.
Yes.
She said, "Mommy, she was talking to herself first. She was playing. They're like, I used the butcher knife to cut you. I used the butcher knife to cut you. Then she would take some toys. I put you in the boiler. She's talking to the toys. I put you in the boiler. So I was like, Marie. She was like, the last time she came to me, Mommy, but then message the friend, use a butcher knife to cut me. And I was like, we don't talk like that. Butcher knife for cutting meat. Not for cutting human beings. You don't put human beings in the rubbish bin. You don't. I complained to the teacher, and then she was like, oh yes, Mommy, we'll pay more attention. I'm like, it's not okay. She said, oh, sometimes when the students are misbehaving, we tell them that we'll put you in the boiler.
Oh, how?
And I said, please, we don't put human beings in the rubbish. We don't. Don't ever. I don't want my child to grow up thinking that human beings are trash. It's not okay.
Oh,
It's
my
not okay.
world. I mean, really?
Yes, really. Yes, really.
And they don't say
Attention
nicely
to
in the boiler.
detail. Attention to, like, how can you let a child grow? The fact that you think is not a problem to me is a problem.
Exactly.
It's a big
This
problem.
is terrible. So you observe them like that. And that's
Yeah.
how sometimes I just observe them if I happen to be around. And you went to the bathroom and the child had, pooed on herself. And you take the child to the bathroom, a 2-year-old child for that matter. And the teacher is standing there pouring water on the child and said, clean it. Why did you pour it on? I'm like, oh. I just went and I said, excuse me. I took the child, bathed the child, washed the child nicely, took care of him. I was like, thank you very much for your service. 3 months, paid you off, and that was just it. We don't have any problem. You can go and report me anywhere. This is somebody's child, for crying out loud. And you agreed you could do this. And look at what you're doing to the
yeah.
child. And you see, and I don't think anybody should ever say that a parent is fussy. You were not there when I was pushing my child out. You're not there when I was going through the hassles. And I know what's important for my child and what's good for my child. And so if you go reporting this, that you were dismissed because you were maltreating a toddler, like a 2-year-old child. I mean, if she could do it, who would ask you to take care of the child?
Yes.
You get it. So yeah. If you hear me ever, if you come by ever and hear me shouting or then it means that you're being bad to a child.
Yeah.
And most of the teachers too don't have training. The caregivers,
That's right.
they don't have
Yeah.
training. You need to understand. Recently, I was training some people on just understanding a little bit of child psychology.
Yeah.
If you do, you will know why you don't even have to compare two children.
children.
Yes,
That's
exactly,
true.
because they're all different.
They are
Even
different.
twins.
Yeah.
I have a set of
Yes.
twins.
Yeah.
You will know why you don't have
to
to compare.
compare.
If you understand just a tiny little bit of what child psychology is all about, you won't compare them. And so you're hearing people say that, oh, this person is better than you. This person is better than you. Even parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it demoralizes the
Yeah.
children.
Even parents. I mean, we'll come
Their
to the
ego.
parents.
Yeah.
Even parents, some parents come and they're comparing their children so bad, and making the other child feel like, I mean, you don't know anything, you don't do this, you don't do that. So we all need to learn. I mean, once you want to be in that space where there are children, I mean, because they're so sweet, they're so lovely.
That's
Very
right.
sweet
You
and
know,
lovely.
Once you want to be in that space, you will need to learn and understand them
Yeah.
and be able to care for them. So let me find out from you, Charlotte. When these complaints come to you and you find out that a teacher is palpable, what do you do?
I go straight to the teacher, ask her what happened and how it got there, and I try to talk to them. You understand? I tell them that, look, all parents have rights to complain about what they dislike about their child or what went on that day. And they should just take everything in good faith and even learn on it. So that next time you don't even impact that kind of treatment to another child. When you communicate with the parents, it gives you the joy to even know how best to take care of that particular child. Because the way Auntie will want her child to be taken care of is different from the way Auntie B will also want the child to be taken care of. So when each parent comes around with a complaint, just take it in good faith. And most of the time, I have the parents even coming to me. Oh, Auntie Charlotte, this, that. I say, oh, okay, no problem. I'm going to work towards it. Let's say you give me that complaint in the morning. In the afternoon, when you come for your child, I tell you, oh, I've spoken to the teacher and I'm going to ensure to you that everything is going to work out well. You also observe. If there's anything still not being right to you, just come straight to me. And I also go to the teacher and talk to them and make sure that whatever the parent or the mother needs from you, you give out that services.
Have you ever been tough on anybody to the point of letting them go because they're not doing their job? And you see, I don't think it should be because a parent has complained.
Yes.
I mean, that should be
Observation as well.
not even that. Your job as a caregiver, I'm talking about the teachers. You're not, I mean, and what the parents come to complain about, you know that it's the right thing they're complaining about.
Yes.
It is not like they're just, making up things.
Yes.
So nobody really is supposed to talk you.
Into your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something I've always said that I don't think anybody should be talked
That's right.
into loving their
Make
partners. I've always said that. Look, love comes from within and it's very natural. So if I have to now come and talk you, it's different. You may not know the person's love language, so you're not sure how
it's
to
going to respond,
demonstrate
yeah.
it, But if I have to talk you into, oh, you have to love her. You see, it's important. I know. Why should you be talked and taught
How
I don't know if you
to-
understand what I'm
I
trying to say.
understand.
Yeah, it should. It's if once it comes from within, there's a way you relate to the person,
Yes.
and then you can be taught based on the person's temperament
That's right.
and the person's love language and all those other things, how to directly touch the person's heart. But wanting to be with the person and having that emotional connection with the person, who should come and teach you? It's not you who said you saw the person and you love
Love
the
the
person.
person.
So what were you feeling inside when you said you love
You
the
love
person,
the
and now
person.
somebody has
Has
to
to
talk
come
you,
teach you.
come and talk you into it and say, oh, love your wife, love your
your
wife,
husband.
love your husband. What is
Love
that?
your child.
So if you call yourself a caregiver and you're able to go to a school to say that I want a job here, and whoever the proprietress or whoever the headmistress is interviews you, and they come to the conclusion that yes, you are able to do the job, you should be trained as you're going along.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the basic things that you're supposed to do, like you don't keep a diaper on a child, a wet diaper on a child.
Poo poo. Ah.
You leave
poop
them in
on
the
a child.
yes, and some of these things, and if you naturally don't have a thing with children, then that's it. I have an experience with one of the children at the center. So he was in the class and he was crying. Crying because they were supposed to spell something, and they compete in the class a lot. This is like I think KG1, and he couldn't, he had gotten everything right but one word, and he was crying. And I passed by and I heard, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you? Then the teacher said, this is it. And I'm like, okay, come. So he followed me, went to the office. He was still crying. So I put him on my laps. And I'm like, would you stop crying? I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to get it, but you've gotten it wrong already. So I started crying with him. But you've gotten it wrong already. So stop crying. When I started doing that, he started laughing. So, you see, there's a way you have to. But somebody will just, why are you crying? This small thing. You don't treat children like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we went through it, and then he stopped crying. I'm like, do you want to learn it? He said yes. You know your phonics? He said yes. Okay. So it's just a simple word. Supposed to spell, I think it was fix, F-I-X. And he was very confused. Meanwhile, you had written 6. So you just have to use that concept to be able to do this. And then we went through it. You had to start from the beginning. And I think he was, at a point, he was just looking at me like that. So we went through. So what's the sound for A? We went through it until we went through everything. So you know what sound F makes, right? Says yes. What sound I makes? And then we went through it. And then so now write fix. Just by walking the child through, he wrote it, and come and see the joy on the child's
joy.
face. And apparently the teacher had marked him wrong.
Wrong.
And I called the teacher. I said, no, he got it right. So please come and correct it. Hey, auntie, you see, I got it right. And the child was happy.
Yeah.
If you're not careful,
Yeah.
you leave a child like this to go home and not even want to come
Back
back
again.
tomorrow
Yeah.
because you don't have that kind of patience and that love for the child. And so apart from looking at the fancy environment, the fact that we have this, we have that, you will need to also find ways of finding out if these people are children inclined. Really, it's important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can destroy the base
The
for the
basis.
child. Yeah. If they're children, because then you will understand why a child behaves the
Way they do.
they do. It's very important. First, the environment is important. All the learning materials are critical, but you're looking at the holistic development of
your
a child. And it's important that everything comes together. And so that's why I was asking you, have you had to sack somebody for not doing the right thing?
No.
No. You
No,
always
not-
talk to them.
No, not yet.
You have to fire somebody. You can't always be too
Sharon
nice.
is a very soft proprietress
Yes,
from the
you
way
can't
she
always
talks.
be too nice. Oh, no, see,
Or maybe she just has good people.
my
I do.
my
people.
caregivers know how I am when it comes to my children. especially so in school, and I tell them, I won't take
Yes.
these things. I don't expect any parent to take it. No, I won't come and side with any caregiver and tell the parent that I had to withdraw my child from a certain school. She was in class 2. Why? She came back home, no school bag. The whole school bag is missing. Hey, why? No, I actually going to pick her up, and then there was no school bag. Where is your bag? They have a place they keep their bags, and they all play there. So whilst they are doing after school care and they are waiting, everybody has a bag somewhere. And so her bag was there too. Carry your bag and let's go.
She can't find a bag.
We looked everywhere, asked the teachers, but there's no bag in the classroom. We brought all the bags here. I was very angry. So we went to the head. I mean, I don't have the patience for that. So they took me to the head. He said, "Hey, Randy, that was the worst thing anybody ever told me concerning my child." He said, "We understand. This is where we all put the bags. But you see, you also have to train your child to be able to take care of her things." And I'm like, "What did you just say?" You provided a place. Don't you just realize that probably somebody, these bags are very similar.
Exactly.
Somebody maybe just picked
it. Yeah.
hers.
Yeah.
And then, we're sorry about it. We'll announce. And then make sure that, whoever picked it brings it back or something. And then you tell me that you also have to train your child. How else is she supposed to take care of the bag when you have provided a corner for them to...
If she could, why didn't you put her on her back and let her run around
Yes.
the school with?
Yeah. And that's what, Bema, that's what he told me. And I'm like, thank you very much. This is where we part ways. Then. It was over. It was over. Like, that was
It's
it.
done.
It's done. That was
Wow.
it. I took my son to summer school. Is it summer school they call it? He says he wants to play football. So, this long vacation, you take him to go and play football somewhere. And it's not small money. Every week they charge 300 Ghana cedis a week. Plus feeding, 12 cedis a day. The boy is 9. When this boy comes to play football, he comes back hurt. One of the days, he came back home on Friday with a very big shin. What happened to you? In the process of playing, somebody kicked him, and I think it was very bad. So I'm like, okay, but we bought shin guards for you, so didn't you wear it? He said one was missing. Okay, but that's okay. And did your coach or whoever it is training you, did they see it? He said they saw it, and they said when I go home, I should tell my parents to put something on it for me. No problem, Mom. We were trying to treat this thing, and every day it increases. And then so it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I called them. I'm like, is that what kind of services do we render around here?
Yeah.
A 9-year-old boy is brought to you, paid in full. The child was playing with you, and the child gets hurt.
An accident.
And nobody called to find out how is the child doing when the child was hurt under your care. Really? Oh, Auntie, we are sorry. No. And I'm like, and you people, is it that you didn't notice he wasn't coming? Because there's a child that almost every week you are sending reports about him, and he's good, he plays well, they even gave him a medal and everything. And so
I had a similar experience, and I had to withdraw the same thing. My daughter had an infection from the school.
Oh, me, it was not just withdrawal. I went for a refund. I went to collect my money. I said, no. I went to, I said, I want a refund for that week, the feeding fee, everything. I want it back. Because I think you just don't care.
Yes.
And it's because I don't know too many options around.
Okay.
But next summer, he's not coming. And hey, the football that he wants to play and make money, this Ekwacha are coming to hurt him for me. when is he going to start making the money? So sometimes we just we're just cowed into taking things like that, even when you are not happy. 0302216541. Let me hear what some of our parents have to say as well. So we don't just have to take some of these things, but some of the parents are also not good, right? Some of the parents are bad. Share your
know.
experiences with me. They have talked about the schools, some of the parents.
You know, even there are certain days that some parents bring in sick children.
No, I keep saying
They
keep your
bring
child
in-
sick.
Oh, you know about that one?
Keep your
Yes.
child at home.
They
Just
bring
keep
in-
your. You are so unfair. Don't you think about other people's children?
They bring in
Hey.
sick children, and when you are going to talk to them about it, it becomes a whole issue. You know,
I think
and
it's because they think they don't have anybody at
At
home.
home.
So
Yes,
they
but
have to
tell-
force and
Strap your
but-
child on your
But
back.
we, at least just tell us that we can
Oh,
know
so
how-
what? They bring the child without telling that the child
No,
is not well.
no.
Eh, but why would you
they
be so
do,
careless
they
about
do.
your
Oh,
child?
that's
They do.
Oh wow.
They
that's
do.
not acceptable.
They do.
Oh, that's scary.
Sometimes,
It
yes.
is.
Sometimes they bring the child in, and you say this child has very high temperature, and then you call the parents. You're like, "Oh, sir, my tree is not good." You know,
Wow.
I had to rush one child to the clinic because she had a high temperature. She was admitted.
Hey.
And I called the parent, and she now came. Oh, Auntie Charlotte. Oh, is that so? Oh, I didn't know. You know, some of them bring their children into school sick.
Well, they allow the parents.
Wow.
No.
They do.
Yeah, they
Kobe is
allows
on the line.
parents,
Hello,
so-
Kobe.
Hello.
Yes, Kobe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, listening.
Yes, I've been listening. I'm a teacher myself, and I've been listening patiently. It's like the fire is on teachers this morning.
There we are, your corner.
You see, one of your panelists make a suggestion that he took the daughter to school, and then he had an injury. And then on the way back, he realized that the injury was a little bit open. And my point is, did he make the teachers aware, or was the school aware that, okay, this is the situation I'm bringing my ward in, so that they also know what to do, protect the child or a bit or something. You see, at times parents come and then they feel like, okay, teachers are angels. They should know everything in the world. While they bring the child to school, parents expect 100% care from the child. Meanwhile, there are certain things that happen. They just happen, accidents happen within a split seconds. For instance, the child got hurt at home with her parent. He was there, but the accident happened within a split second. Before he realized the incident has happened. And these things also happen in school. Teachers are taking care of a lot of children with different characters. As you said, every child has got individual differences, different characters and different behaviors.
Okay, but you see,
Before-
right now we're talking about the preschool. These children are under 6. Hello, Kobe, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. I'm listening. You're saying something.
No, I was just saying that these children are under 6 years. And at
Yes.
that age, yes, at that age, you can still help form and shape the character of the child.
Exactly.
You cannot define a child's character at that age, for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand. And in the same way, parents should also be of value. The school that I'm seeing, we also have a preschool, a primary, and a high school. I just don't want to put a school's name on there.
Please don't.
But the point is, we're doing all this, but at times parents come in and it's like, no, this is what has to be done. But there are certain things when the child was sleeping, for instance, a child leave home and the child is not feeling well. They pack the medicine in the bag and give it to the school. Okay, give this medicine to my child at this time. Do this at this time. At times somebody will tell you for all these things with a prescription, but somebody will come, will not do anything, just bring the child to school, and you don't even know that the child is not feeling well. You can't interrogate the child and realize that what is wrong with you? Say, I've been sick, I'm not feeling well, but mommy says I should come to school. Since when have you been sick? And it goes like, from yesterday or since last night, I started vomiting. And yesterday they brought you to school. So these are some of the challenges that teachers also face.
Thanks for sharing.
They know very well that this is the problem with the child, but because they want to keep the child in school and go around doing their normal business, they go, let's the child to school and then let's go into our business.
Kobe, thank you very much. I understand your frustration. So yeah, it's a big deal. This
Just to correct Kobe, I after she got the gash on her lip, she stayed home and it healed.
Okay.
Then I really went to the school and told them that, you know what, she hurt her lip, so she's home with me, and it healed. So when she came back to school and something happened to
then
her,
it opened up.
just tell me.
Yeah.
You know, Kobe, we're not saying that people are bad. We're saying that you people are too busy to pass on information. Just tell
But
me.
some yes, we've heard all your complaints, but some of the parents too.
are
Was it
bad.
you I was talking to yesterday? That my place, for instance, we are open from 6 to 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You still have parents leaving their
Yeah, you
children
told
when
me.
it was
Yes.
home till 8 p.m.
Till
Yes.
8 p.m.
And
That's
one of
true.
one of
Some
one of the
parents
one of
is
the
true.
one of the
Yeah.
days
Some
when
parents
I was
are
home
bad,
8
that's
p.m.
true.
when the parents came for the child. I had bathed the child, fed the child, and everything. The child was sleeping because it was home. So when they came, the two of them, I just said, "Thank you very much, but I don't want to do this again."
That's right.
I was like, "Auntie," I said,
and they won't even
this
call.
is just a 2. The child is under 2.
They won't even call.
And you bring the child in at 5:30 a.m.
AM.
And then you come in for the child at 8.
8.
Why? You want a dumping grounds for your child. Please don't bring him again. And that was it. Hi, Abena.
He sacked the baby from school.
Not the baby. I sacked the parents. You should care about the child.
You
Yeah.
should.
You should care about the child.
You
You
should.
didn't even add
No,
extra.
I
food to
think
it.
that because parents think that they've paid exorbitant fees,
Oh, I
so they
know.
think
No, but
If
you
I,
can't
tell,
leave
if, I,
your-
if I
no, but
tell
you
you
can't
how
leave
much
your
I
child
charge at my
till
place, but it's not for
8
money.
p.m.
It's just for the love of
Maybe.
it.
8 p.m.
It's just for the love of it.
now,
won't
I
lie
mean,
to
most
you.
of the schools, the monies they are paying.
Hi, Abena, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Abena is on the line.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning,
I am
Abena.
very happy that we are having this topic for discussion this morning. Just before I go into what my personal experience has
I
been.
have just 2 minutes to wrap up the show.
Okay, all right. I think it's something that we should actually be doing as parents to put this topic out for discussion and probably speak out during PTAs. I mean, make conscious efforts of, making sure that caregivers are aware of realize how we want our children to be taken care of. For instance, my child is 3 years old, and so far I've changed school for him 3 times. The last experience was very terrible. I just chanced in on it, and you could tell this boy was crying within him like Osubunimu. I only got there, and he started wailing. And the teachers were there. I was like, what happened? They couldn't tell me anything. So I was like, okay, don't worry. I know my child will tell me what happened. And he told me. And then that's when they were like, oh, this and this is what happened. I mean, because I only have 2 minutes, I think we should make a conscious effort to be putting these topics out for discussion. And probably if there's any training that needs to be given to these teachers to see things from our perspective, I think that also needs to be done.
Abena, please leave your number with Daniela for me. We'll contact you after the show because we need to do this over a period. We need to dram it home. But we need to, thank you very much, Abena. We need to wrap up on the show now. Where's your school, Charlotte? Tesano. Okay, early days, right?
Early days preschool.
Okay, I mean, just a few 30 seconds. You want to put your number out there?
0244209052.
Okay, so you can contact Charlotte if you are within the Tesano environs. And then you can check us out too. Evergreen School, we are in Ashalibuche, School Junction, thereabouts. You know the number I put out all the time, 0262 874707. You can call us and check us out, and then see, we're doing like a 50% discount. We have, one of the things I love about my place is the crèche.
The crèche.
We do 1 baby to a cot. We have just 10 babies. 10 we
Nice.
don't take anymore, and every child has a cot, like everything their own, their drawer, you put their diapers, everything in it. Very good space. You should come and check us
And
out.
what's your price?
Oh, should I tell you?
Yeah.
Should I say something?
Yeah.
We charge just 1,000 CDs a term,
Okay.
the whole term.
How many terms?
3.
3
So
months?
the term's 4 months.
It's 4 months.
And we're
4
open
months.
from 6 to 6. No
Okay.
extra charges. So
Oh.
you see, it's
Yeah.
for the love of it. It's for the love of it. Okay, so this is how we are wrapping up. Next week we will come back again. I was
Okay.
hoping that next week we will talk about we'll move on to, the people who are already in the primary school and all that. But it looks like we still have a lot of issues in the preschool. So we'll see what we do again next week. But before I go, Obia want to taste whatever your favorite food is, be it authentic Ghana jollof, delicious light soup, or that special stew your family and friends love. Give it a touch with the new Gino Max 12-gram seasoning cubes with 3 varieties. Gino Max shrimps with herbs and spices, Gino Max shrimps, or Gino Max shrimp with pepper. Obia when it tastes. With Gino Max seasoning cubes, there's a flavor to satisfy everyone. Gino truly cares. Thank you all for doing the listening. My name is Adam Nightstay. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Charlotte. And thank you, Victoria, Daniela, Selwyn, and, thank you all for supporting, and thanks to Food 101 for providing us with breakfast every Saturday morning on the show. We are out of here.